Hi, I'm Hazel. It's Saturday today, which makes it time to sit down and catch up on the WoW news of the week, what I have been up to, and answer some of your questions. This week, Blizzard officially confirmed the dates for BlizzCon 2023. It's back, it's happening, it's going to be November 3rd and 4th at the Anaheim Convention Center. Ticket sales and all of these standard details are to come, but it's the major takeaway is that it's really happening and that there's concrete dates that people can plan around now. I personally am not planning to go this year, which feels a little weird to say. I did go 18 and 19, but I think I'm excited to watch it at home and then kind of not have to worry so much about the whole travel thing. Based on the content calendar for Dragonflight and how on schedule we've been trucking along on it, I am tentatively expecting to see them announce the next WoW expansion at this BlizzCon. I think that would be about right. I could be wrong, but that's definitely what I'm hoping to see from the convention. Other stuff this week, the Evoker Legendary is real. It's confirmed, it's in the game in 10.1. There is a quest item that can drop off of Sarkareth now that Sarkareth has been down in Mythic difficulty, and that will start a short quest line for the lucky Evoker who gets it. They're going to need to find and work with a blacksmith, an engineer, and a jewel crafter in order to get this thing repaired and usable. It's going to have stats like this, and that starting item can now drop from Sarkareth on every difficulty, including LFR, although it will have a better chance to drop on higher difficulties. Another thing that's unlocked now that Mythic Sarkareth has been downed is the matching pet, the Moat of Nasuro pet. Anyone can now obtain this pet. You do not need to be an Evoker by collecting the 16 moats around the Dragon Isles. There are some resources on Wowhead that have coordinates for that, so happy hunting if you're a pet collector. In 10.15 news, we have more Warlock pet customizations being data mined with these shiny new Fell Hunter models. Between all these shiny new pets and the expanded Warlock races that we heard about last week, I expect to see plenty of Warlock alts roaming Azeroth in 10.15. Other news and notes, over in the Community Council forums, WoW Dev Chimes posted that the bag space issues from the new upgrade system, the Crests and whatnot, are under discussion by the devs, and it's possible that they move Crest to the Currency tab for Season 3. It's not a guarantee, but it is good to know, and this is an implicit confirmation that they are planning to iterate on the upgrade system for Season 3. They're not going to just trash it altogether. As the season continues, I've personally been really happy with the upgrade system so far. I like that you can continue to work on and improve your gear outside of just hoping to get lucky with a new piece of loot. You don't feel punished for upgrading a piece of loot that's got slightly odd stats, because if you get the right stats one later, you've got the discounted upgrades for it. And I both appreciate and only recently realized that fully upgraded champion track gear is only 4 item levels below fully upgraded hero track gear. It's really not that much worse if you upgrade your champion gear all the way to 8 of 8. So it's pretty achievable to get some good stuff to help you push those harder heroic bosses and push into higher keys. As far as what I've been up to this week, keys, lots of keys. I actually got my Keystone Master achievement finished week 2, which is unusually early for me, and I think it speaks to how not easy keys are, but how accessible this new season is to get into. It feels a lot easier to learn than previously because affixes have, for the most part, kind of calmed down and gotten out of our way a little bit. The free heroic Omni token that you get for getting Keystone Master is definitely a big motivator. I use that to learn some heroic Tear Shoulders because I figure heroic Echo of Neltharion is probably a little bit away from me. But overall, keys have been a great source of gear, both from the actual gear itself, but also just being able to farm all 15 like Worms crests and then get into more Aspects crests every week. So I've been having a lot of fun with that. I do think, though, that all 4 of the older keys that they brought back hold their own just fine next to the newer keys. And I'm, having done a season transition now, pretty in favor of this reworking old keys to give us kind of new things to do every patch. Because it's nice to not still be in Ruby life pools right now, and I don't really mind doing the older ones because apparently I had forgotten them completely anyways. And then questions for this week. Laura asks, you totally didn't mention Dragonriding and Calendar, Eastern Kingdoms, etc., which seems to be coming, but only to dragon-shaped mounts. No love for our Sunworm Furlines just yet. Honestly, that had totally slipped by me. I had heard a few things and then thought about them and then forgot about them. And then I went looking for it, but I was looking for like a poster and announcement, and what it turns out to have been is some data mining from the 10.15 PTR about a week and a bit ago that still has not been implemented onto the PTR in a playable form. So what we're looking at is data mined achievements for dragon races in the Eastern Kingdoms and Kalimdor, as well as this dynamic or static flying toggle, it seems like, to allow you to swap between basically dragon riding or regular flying. And then also a big list of 80 plus something mounts that have gotten new animations for this dynamic flying. So the indication is that you would be able to dragon ride in the old world, you'd be able to do so with more mounts, and you'd be able to toggle back and forth between static or dynamic depending on which type of flying you prefer. All of that is fantastic. I'm looking forward to seeing it actually put into the PTR. One thing to note is that, well, it is mostly dragon-shaped mounts that are so far flagged for dragon riding animations. There are a couple of other ones. I noticed the Fellfire Hawks, such as the Elisrazor mount, as well as the Dreadraven mount, are also flagged for dragon riding. So it's not just dragons, and I think that that list is likely to expand as time goes on. I'm mostly just really happy that there's a toggle so that people that don't want to or cannot dragon ride don't feel like they have to. They're not forced into it, but everybody that enjoys the new flight system could enjoy it in more places than just the Dragon Isles. I will say that I hope with that toggle, and this is not data mined, this is just something that I've kind of got my fingers crossed for people, is that you would be able to toggle to static flying in the Dragon Isles if you wanted to, because I don't really see the harm in that. I think that somebody that's static flying, like using the old method of flying in the Dragon Isles, if they want to, is perfectly harmless. It's not like they're going any faster. The only real benefit that you would get from it, aside from just easier controls and more stable flying for someone that's not fond of the dynamic thing, is, I guess, the ability to AFK hover. But that's already not so much a thing in the dangerous areas like the Caldera anyways, where they're going to shoot you off your mount to begin with. I don't see a big problem with allowing people to static ride in the Dragon Isles, and I hope that they consider that for 10.15. And then GLKification asks, I wonder if the raid is a bit undertuned this time. What do you think? My guild got 9 of 9 normal, 3 of 9 heroic in a single night. Seems so much easier than previous patches. I agree. I think that normal in particular is much easier than it has been in previous patches. My guild also full cleared it, including Sarkareth in the first raid week, which was unheard of, plus 2 heroic bosses. And then this week, on the second we reset, we re-cleared normal, and then did another 3 heroic bosses for 5. We're now currently progressing on heroic Skarn, who is serving as a much bigger roadblock. I think that it's probably intentional. I think that they have made normal easier to help people get into organized raiding, because the barrier of finding an organized group and raiding with them and, herding all of the ducks in the row to actually work on the boss at the same time is already enough of an obstacle for people that are just trying to put their foot in the door there. I think that having it be more puggable and having it be more new player and new guild friendly is a good thing in normal. And then people that want more of a challenge can continue to push into those higher heroic bosses. I'm expecting late heroic to get a lot harder. Heroic Skarn is already a bit of a wall, like I said, and then I'm guessing that Echo and Sarkareth will not just fall over. If they do just fall over, then I guess I might be done a little bit early, which would be a bit odd. I think it's also a reflection on them making the fights a little bit easier to understand and process without needing to use these computational weak cores that they're no longer allowing. I think having everything be a little bit more straightforward and obvious, in a good way, I think, is helping make the fights easier to progress on, because people kind of catch on to them a little bit faster than before. And then Brayden wants to know, what is one profession you will never touch? I don't know if you've had all of them at some point. Is there one that just doesn't appeal to you? So to some extent, I've had all of them at some point, but I will say that my least favorite, and I mean no shade to the people that practice it, but engineering and I do not get along. Engineering can make pets and mounts, and I like pets and mounts, but you can usually just kind of buy them from the engineers. And otherwise, it seems like a great way to spend a bunch of gold on materials and then fill your bags up with a bunch of stuff. I'm not a big fan of bombs and nets and gadgets and gizmos and other stuff that just kind of sits in your bags until you remember to use them. I hold on to them too long and then never ever do anything with them. And then I would also say in general in Dragonflight, I've been steering away from armor crafting overall just because it doesn't really fit my playstyle and the way that I like to craft. I've been leaning really heavily into alchemy because I can just craft stuff for the auction house and then chuck it on the auction house and then log off. Whereas with armor crafting, it's more important to be advertising in chat or to be present in chat to catch when somebody asks for something made, and then to like network, and then to be kind of available and around so that you can make things when people need them before they go to another crafter. And that's not really my thing either, so I'm just sticking with the consumable goods for me. And that has been the week. Thank you very much for watching. If you have a question for a news video, please pop it in the comments and include the word question to help me find it. I appreciate you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.